Content creators just did a full reveal on the Justice Hunter set. And like usual, they're doing tricks on it. I'm not even going to show any videos. You can watch them for yourself. But during this same time, Konami just dropped a huge announcement that pretty much confirms that Justice Hunters is going to have its very own format. On top of that, you might be a player that might just be interested in the genuine buzz behind it. And I will admit, there's way more than what meets the eye. Today, Big Dog, we're going to be talking about why Justice Hunters is going to be very interesting for Yu-Gi-Oh! And everything you need to know about the updates that's happening in our card game. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with y'all, Big Dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. Now, normally, guys, we do update Mondays on Monday, but I have a small announcement. This video was quite unexpected simply because of the reveals, but also because of that important announcement that Konami just made. So I will tell you guys right now that Update Monday will be moved to Tuesday, and that video is going to be really fun to watch. But let's start off by talking about this announcement. Konami just made a huge announcement on the upcoming ban list, and they said, duelists, please note the next Forbidden and Limited list won't be for a while. Well, that's encouraging. They didn't even give us a date. Adjustments will be made sometime after this year's Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game World Championships. Stay tuned. In case you guys want to know, the World Championship takes place in Paris, France on August 29th through August 31st. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be incredibly upset with this decision, but I want to know, if you guys ran Konami, how exactly would you have gone about the Forbidden list? There actually was a point in time where we had a guaranteed set date when we would get ban list, and then there was also a time where the OCG ban list and the TCG ban list were one and the same. Regardless, I do like that we're at least getting communication, but I have a strong feeling we're only getting the communication because of the outcries that have been happening. It wouldn't be unprecedented for them to give us a ban list before, but now that we know that we have at least a whole nother month of Yu-Gi-Oh! In this particular format, we can dive into Justice Hunters and understand the complexities behind it, while also understanding that it will change Yu-Gi-Oh! The last North American Championship does give an indication that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot more diverse than what players would give it credit. I mean, Gym Knights did get top 4, right? And seeing that Orcus was the winner, it means that Battles of Legends Monsters Mayhem actually did shape up to be a pretty decent set. And while the jury is still out on Duelist Advance, Justice Hunters has some promising things about it, as well as some disappointing things. My dog Duel Daddy on Twitter actually gave us a complete breakdown of the set, so we don't have to scroll through YouTube and watch content creation, and I'm gonna pass that off to you. And if you guys are on Twitter and want to keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh! News, consider following Duel Daddy and letting them know that I sent you. Doesn't really do anything, it just, shows that I appreciate it. Okay, so in case you guys are wondering, its OTS launch date is in 9 days, the 30th, and the official launch date is on the 1st. They're charging $4.50 per pack at 7 cards per pack, which I think is criminal. The set size is 60 cards, so it should be really easy to be able to get these cards. And it introduces Draco Tails, K9, and Yummy. Now, the cool thing is that while you have 10 ultra rares and 10 super rares, you have 40 rares, which some of these cards can be available in super rare. I thought that was really cool. Plus, there are 15 cards that are also available in collector's rare, plus additional cards available as Starlight Rare. You're also going to get 1 foil card per pack and 6 rares per pack. Let's go ahead and jump on to the spoiler, which has, oh my god. There is something that I want to say about Justice Hunters. All 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes have the potential to be incredibly good. K9 is already regarded as one of the best engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! And fuels a tier 0 deck in the OCG in K9 Vanquish Soul. But I actually think that K9 is more than just Vanquish Soul. Decks like Cyber Dragon and Crystron in the TCG might just have an edge. Yummy is probably the second best Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy out of the set, and could emerge as the second best Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy in the game, because the deck is almost a perfect counter to K9, not needing to use cards from the hand or graveyard. The deck is so simplistic and hard to counter, it's one of the more nuanced strategies that force you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Unorthodox and play on its level. And normally in these side sets, we get at least one bad archetype, but if I'm being honest, Draco Tail is not that. Draco Tail is a fusion-based Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck that works really well with other strategies like Branded. So when we jump in and look at the rarity distribution, it's actually fairly interesting. K9 only has 2 ultra rares here. That's Azuna that you're going to need 3 copies of, but also just Lupus, which you only need 1 copy of. This essentially means that K9 could be incredibly budget, especially if you start to consider if both Lupus and Izuna become collector's rares. This is actually going to have an inverse effect on the market. You see, with our last set, Crossover Breakers, the initial ultra rares started off as decently expensive, but as time went on, players started to realize that these cards were a lot more accessible, and the go-to cards were the collector's rares or Starlight Rare versions of the card. K9 isn't like Malice or Yugioh, it is an engine, so it'll be way more sought after. The good thing here is that most of the cards are easy to get, so I can see Izuna being maybe $20 at its maximum price, and then Lupus not really being expensive, seeing that you only need 1. But as I'm diving deeper, guys, I already see 1, 2 collector's rares, 3 collector's rares. I think there's 10 in a set. Okay, there's still an opportunity since we don't know the exact rarity of all of these cards. And I'm pretty confident that Izuna will be a collector's rare. It would be the perfect candidate. Personally, collector's rares are some of my favorite cards. So I'm really excited to see which cards will be confirmed collectors so I can make sure they get put in my Raven Wing sleeves. Let's face it, big dog, we have the best sleeves available in the entire world. But not only are they the best sleeves, they're also the cheapest. So big dogs, if you guys want to support the channel while also getting something in return, go ahead and purchase your Raven Wing sleeves today. I actually think they're on sale right now too. We are anticipating version 4 to be coming incredibly soon, so go ahead and take advantage of this discount while supplies last. Yummy and Draco players, on the other hand, seem to get the short end of the stick, with all of the important Yummy cards being Ultra Rare, Cupsy, Kooky, Lolipo, and Yummy Snatchy. That's going to be a decently expensive deck, or at least you would think. Dragon Tail have Femina, Lucius, and Mueller being all ultra rares could also be considered a problem, but I want to take you guys right back to that Malice and Yugioh situation. On initial release, those cards did have some insane prices, but as things started to die down, the prices became a lot more palatable. I think personally that if the K9 cards take off like they should, and players aren't paying attention to the Yummy strategy or Dragon Tail, there may be an opportunity for players to pick them up when they're cheap, or eventually they'll be decently cheap for players to have access to. Moving on to the next page, I think in this set there are some reprints that are dedicated towards this deck, and I do like it. Cards like Chronomaly Vimana and Paradise Smasher. We'll talk about this one in a second. Then there's also Durandal and the Nash Knight, which is really good for K9. You have King of the Swamp and Millenniumizer Strict, which could be good for Draco Tail. Then you have Herald of Arclight and Metal Marcher, which is crazy strong for Yummy. I genuinely like some of these reprints, especially when it comes to Obedience School, but I have just a slight problem. You see, these Yu-Gi-Oh side sets used to give reprints to highly sought after cards, or actually upgrade some of those niche Yu-Gi-Oh cards that players were looking for. Cards like Droll and Lockbird from Tactical Masters, or Fire Formation Tenki from Wild Survivors, One for One from Amazing Defenders, were all pretty decent Yu-Gi-Oh cards that got a reprint that made the set sought after outside of the deck build set, or deck build archetypes. But inside of this set, unless a card like Egypt Chain or Polymerization gets a collector's rare designation, there really isn't much here. Justice Hunter seems to be focused on just those 3 Yu-Gi-Oh sets, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but does indicate that there's going to be a huge change in Yu-Gi-Oh. You see, the thing is, Konami is starting to change the way they are doing their deck build sets. If you guys remember back in the day, the deck build sets were a complete joke. Even some of the stronger decks that can be competitive to this day, like Memento or Centurion, or even Vanquish Soul, took years for the strategy to become good. But now, since Crossover Breakers, these Yu-Gi-Oh strategies are not only competitive, they're easily some of the best decks in the entire game. But another thing here is that it also just might indicate what's happening on the next ban list. I know I talked about a leaked ban list a couple of weeks ago, but the more and more I'm starting to see their moves, I'm starting to believe it. I mean, Paradise Smasher was not on that leaked ban list because it's in Justice Hunters. And by hitting Yugioh, Malice, and Mitsurugi, You remove the best competition from the old school Yu-Gi-Oh decks and usher in a whole new deck build set. And with Draco Tail already having confirmed support in the Dooms of Dimension set, which is about 2 months from now, it's starting to paint a picture that every year Konami will release a deck build set that has the 3 best decks in the meta and then support them throughout regular booster sets. And if that's the case, bravo! They finally figured it out. There was a point in time where we said that these deck build sets were complete trash and they should be discontinued. And now they're on the forefront of everyone's mind. As it stands, it's even more important than the last Yu-Gi-Oh set, which is Duelist Advance. That set was a complete flop, at least for now. If Konami can continue to tie in Yu-Gi-Oh sets to their deck build sets and vice versa, there actually might be a chance for us to have cohesive Yu-Gi-Oh with a bunch of great decks. But that might be giving them way too much credit. That requires, I don't know, an R&D department? Yep, I'm holding some more tea, guys, and I'm not sure when to drop the video. Overall, I am very interested to see that the impact that these 3 decks will have on the current Yu-Gi-Oh meta, which already seems diverse due to Battles of Legends and a little bit of Duelist Advance. Top Deck TJ I have been testing, so expect a duel challenge and a meta counter guide loading soon. Also, let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think about the new ban list drama update? Personally, getting a ban list in September feels like 2012 all over again, but some of you guys aren't that old when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, big dogs, make sure you guys are going to TheCaliEffect.com to pick up your Raven Wing sleeves today, and also make sure that you're checking out these other videos so I can catch you on the next one.